morning, PeaceNet. Good day, PeaceNet. Hope you're having a great day so far. And I would like to continue on from where I shared last time, from True Mother's words. These were given on April 26th at the Cheonbo with just a handful of key leaders who had gathered from around the world. And remember, the majority of us hadn't seen True Mother in 14 months. And in the last message, I shared with you how Mother was reminding us about the Holy Wedding, and the 61st anniversary of the Holy Wedding, but reminding us that the Holy Wedding should have been something that was, rejoiced around the world on the foundation of Christianity. So I always imagine, when we look at the Queen of England's, inauguration or wedding, something like that, it should have been bigger than that and all over the world news. But instead, it was a quiet affair, humbly conducted in Korea. It should have been much more than that. True Mother was speaking about that. And again, she was speaking about the era of wilderness course really went all the way through up until Foundation Day 2013. And how especially those final years leading up to that were really full of suffering. Only heaven knows the suffering that your parents were going through. And then Mother also reminded us about the last 7 years and how in a time when we should have been like new wineskins ready to receive new wine, she felt that many of us, or even all of us, really did not fully understand who she was, what she was doing, and why. And therefore, she was bringing all of those victories over the last 7 years in an environment where even those who were supposed to know, those who were prepared to know, did not know. And I mentioned in the last message how interesting it is that Mother was choosing to remind us of this. Her very first words, the first time she's meeting with world leaders since really the culmination of that 7 years. The last time we saw Mother was the World Summit in 2020. So it's almost like this is the first time she gets to sit down with us since then. And the first thing she talks about is this. And the last words I shared with you were, who opened Cheonbo? True Mother opened Cheonbo. The only begotten daughter opened the gates to Cheonbo. At that time, you who are leaders, ... right? New wineskin, 7-year course. Although you can understand a little bit, even from my memoir, it's not fully expressed there. So this is just a little bit of a taste of where I left off before. And now I'm going to continue on from there. Mother said, I am not a representative. I am the only begotten daughter. So this is the difference between sort of symbol or substance or something like that. She's not a representative. It's very interesting. Not a representative. It's almost like say, not a representative of heaven. She is the substance of heaven in that sense. Isn't that interesting? So, but her words are, I'm not a representative. I am the only begotten daughter. Do you understand what I'm saying? I am the only one who knows the truth of the heavenly providence. So right now, you needn't wonder, actually, and you needn't bash your head against the wall trying to figure it out, or trying to find the one who has figured it out. The only begotten daughter is here. She is with us, and she knows the truth of the heavenly providence. Only her. So then she goes on to say, yes, I proclaimed the settlement of Cheonbo with the victory of the 7-year course in the era of Cheonbo, and I also gave you, blessed families, the grace of being able to be registered in the Chambo one. What did I say? That true people of Cheonbo should be registered in Chambo. You should be the Chambo family. The Chambo is not the work of one generation alone. You have to expand the environment. Who should embrace the 7.8 billion people around the world? Who should lead them? The people of Cheonbo, who were chosen as children of true parents and children of heavenly parents, should stand up and embrace them, right? Yes or no? Okay, so again, I'm getting a little bit excited there as I'm reading the words, but she wasn't standing up and delivering a spirit-filled sermon with this. Again, the spirit of this was she was calm and she was steady and she was paced, speaking quite slowly and clearly. And again, there was this sort of tension, little bit of tension. Not like, I don't think anybody thought they were about to get like scolded, but certainly she's reminding us of our limitations. And whenever she's doing that, I feel she's warning us how to reorient ourselves going forward. And, so what is she saying? I'm just going to recap a little bit. Again, she's talking about she's not a representative. She's the substantial only begotten daughter. She is the substance, okay? She proclaimed the settlement of Cheonbo with the victory of the 7-year course. So it's like, we opened the gates of Cheonbo at Foundation Day, right? 2013. But it was at the end of the 7-year course where she proclaimed the settlement. So proclaiming the settlement. So what does that mean? Does that mean Cheonbo is settled? Or does it mean we're about to settle it? Usually with True Parents proclamations, they have done the work in order to proclaim it as something that is done. But usually we have not yet done the actual settlement work ourselves necessarily. So even personally, I'm still learning about that. But what she's saying here is on that foundation, she proclaimed the grace of Chambo. So you can understand from that something, and that all of us should be Chambo families. And also that this is not the work of one generation alone. Chambo is not the work of one generation alone. And I've just got to stop here and say, I can make, again, Sunday messages out of my feeling here, but let me just give you a tiny taste. Maybe I'll speak about this a lot because it's something I myself have to really discover. But I want to say that I've always been preaching about this, how, tribal messiahship is not just a first gen thing. It's not just the parents. It's not just the wife who's dedicated and the husband comes along. No, it's something that we do together. And Chambo is not the work of one generation alone. From this, we can at least surmise that Mother's talking about 3 generations. I believe it may be the work of every generation until all are embraced, right? But what Mother's saying here is, this is the work of more than one generation. And as I think about this, as I reflect on this, I feel that, I'm not inspired, just me and Yumiko does it, and then my kids are, busy at school, thinking of what career they're going to build. Maybe that was something of the past, but I'm much more inspired by the idea of doing it together with my children. Doing it, in other words, when I'm sitting down with my daughter or my son, what are they going to study? What are they going to do? I really want to embrace that within the realm of Chambo. Oh, you're going to study this, or you're going to study that. You're going to do this, you're going to do that. How does that help us build our tribe? How does that help us inherit what we've been given from our ancestors, true parents, and God? And how do we multiply and substantiate it with our Chambo? That to me is how I choose to interpret, this point. And certainly that's inspiring to me. So because Mother's saying we have to expand the environment. Who will embrace the 7.8 billion people of the world? She says, who should lead them? The people of Cheonbo, who are the chosen people, the chosen children of true parents, the children of Heavenly Parent should stand up and embrace them. Right? Yes or no, she says. So Mother goes on, she says, in fact, while proclaiming Cheonbo, I said the Cheonbo had to be built. Cheonbo had to be built. And I said it was a museum at the time. But actually, that would not be good enough. I remember this when Mother announced about it. She said she's building a museum. People would come in, and by the time they leave, they'd be so moved by everything they felt that they would literally look for the membership form and sign up membership. But Mother says That's how she explained it then. But she says now, since the new era has been declared. So what's the new era? So we have the Cheonilguk era established 2013, yes. But this is the settlement era of Cheonilguk, you could say. I think she's talking about what she declared on the foundation of the 7-year course, declaring the settlement of Cheonilguk and opening the grace to Chambo. Now that those things have been done, she's expanding on her guidance about what the Cheonwongung means. So, since the new era has been declared, there must be a house where the owner can settle, right? There should be a building. And she says, Cheonjonggung was not enough. The temple for heavenly parents needs to be built. The temple for heavenly parent needs to be built. Even in the era of Moses, when the Israelites who escaped from Egypt went into Canaan after wandering in the wilderness for 40 years, even they built the tabernacle first. They wanted to attend heaven. Then, what should the people do in the era of Cheonilguk? Heavenly Parents' dream is life on earth. Listen to that. Heavenly Parents' dream is life on earth. Heavenly Parents' dream is life on earth. So, I've been having these conversations with Timothy right now, who's on GPA, and he keeps talking about how there's so much emphasis about the influence of spirit world, if we get a flat tire, oh, it's spirit world. Oh, if we do well in the fundraising, it's spirit world. If we do badly, it's spirit world. It's our ancestors, or it's something. Yes, those things may be true, but Timothy was feeling some frustration about this point because it's almost like we're cutting between ourselves. There's almost no reference in a sense, and it may not be what they're saying, but certainly it's what he was hearing. So I was guiding him, reminding him that, look, you are spirit world too. So you are spirit world embraced in a physical body, and it's a blessing that we're here in this physical form and we're in this physical world. We should no longer be thinking of the physical world as a bad thing. This is where heaven is longing to exist, in the physical world. Mother says, heaven, where is it? She's saying, Heavenly Parent is longing to exist in the physical world, right? Heaven is longing to exist in the physical world. That's Heavenly Parent's dream, right? So then what should people do in the Heavenly Parent's dream is life on earth. That's what she said. Heavenly Parent's dream is life on earth. It's a life of the kingdom of heaven on earth with the children. With the children. Then Heavenly Parent needs a house, right? At that time, there was no one who really recognized my heart. So she's again referring to the time during the 7-year course when she first also mentioned about the Cheonwongung. She mentioned during that time there was no one who recognized my heart. Even my children didn't know. I felt like I was alone on a rickety boat in the middle of a barren sea. So this is again when Mother is reminding us of her course, her pain, her suffering, all of this unknown to us, misunderstood by us, maybe not understood by us. All of this at a time when Mother was advancing during that 7-year course. She was preparing for the settlement time and even thinking ahead to what we needed to establish substantially on the earth in order for Heavenly Parent to, not only Heavenly Parent to live, but where we can meet Heavenly Parent. I believe that is really the Cheonwongung. So during that time, she describes her heart as feeling like she's alone on a rickety boat in the middle of a barren sea. Again, she's expressing this not with spittle, not with fire and brimstone. She's expressing these words in this heart very steady, very paced, maybe with some melancholy, maybe with some melancholy. I won't say sadness. She's not kind of laying guilt trips. It's not cheap like that. maybe she's expressing a little bit of her heart again, so that we can at least try and connect to the fact that we were missing something. And if that's the case, we should question, well, if we were missing something during that 7-year course, certainly it was a victory. We proclaimed the victory, 7-year victory. But if we were missing something during that time, then you have to ask yourself the question, what if we did understand? What if we did know who she was? What if we did understand who she was and what she was doing? Would it have taken 7 years to get to where we are today? Maybe not. Maybe if we did understand who she was and what she was doing much more deeply, then maybe we could have done in 7 years, we could have done maybe in 7 months or 3 years, something. Meaning, if we did really connect deeper in heart to what God, it's not like it was difficult. It didn't take rocket science. Mother was telling us, right? Somehow, though, from the very top, Mother struggled to get her point across, struggled to convey her meaning, such that it may have taken 7 years. If it had been otherwise, we may have done it quicker. Think about that. Why am I asking you to think about that? Because I think Mother wants us to think about that. Why do I think Mother wants us to think about that? Because this is the first time she's met the leaders since the end of the 7-year course. Therefore, it's kind of the first substantial meeting beginning the next 7-year course. And she's wanting us to understand so that we don't make the same mistake again. What that means is, if we really connect to who Mother is, what she's saying, not only 7 years ago, but what she's saying today, then whatever heaven has planned for the next 7 years, we might be able to accomplish in 7 months or 3 years. Or we may be able to do much better job. I mean, guaranteed, we will be able to do more in a shorter time at a better quality. If we start by deeply trying to pray and meditate and unite solely on True Mother's mind, heart, and will. So it's not the first time you've heard me say it. In Asia Pacific One, I'm saying this all the time. That's what I hear and that's what I read when I meditate on what Mother is saying today. Okay? So again, Mother's reminding us, at that time, there was no one who recognized my heart. Even my children didn't know. I felt like I was alone on a rickety boat in the middle of a barren sea. That means there was nowhere. In this time, Father in the spirit world, there was nowhere for Mother to go substantially, other than God and Father in the spirit world. There was nowhere for her to go. Nowhere for her to rest her heart. Nowhere for her to convey openly, frankly, what was going on. Maybe throughout the course of the providence with true parents, many times they were able to speak with one another frankly. But she had no such physical partner on earth with her at this time. No leader, no child, no family member, no member. I felt like I was alone on a rickety boat in the middle of a barren sea. What do you feel like when you're on a rickety boat in the middle of a barren sea? Well, one thing you probably would feel is, where do I go? Which way do I go? There's no reference point. And how long will I survive on this rickety boat? It's probably leaking water, like taking on water. So I'm sure Mother knew where to go, but in terms of substantial support, she had to make a plan and she had to lead under such circumstances. Incredible. So here, let's read another paragraph from Mother's words. She says, so the leaders of the era of Cheonbo, you need to be different from the leaders of the era of the wilderness. Do you understand? Every day, like sunflowers, we need a true record of how we lived a life of offering joy in front of Heavenly Parents, with our hearts oriented towards True Mother. So that's what, that's the meaning of the sunflower, right? So it's like every day, like a sunflower means every day. Like I'm saying, every day. That's what Mother's been saying, every day. Orient our heart towards True Mother. And we need to record. So in other words, remember the recording, the tape is recording. Everything I think and do and feel and say is being recorded. Not just on these YouTube videos, but everything is being recorded. And so how am I living my life, and how am I choosing to record my life? I need to be finding ways of doing it joyfully while constantly oriented towards Heavenly Parent and True Parents. Oriented towards True Mother now, the only begotten daughter. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to give you the Mont Blanc pens, not by saying that you are insufficient, meaning I'm not trying to give you a hard time, but by saying I have hope in you. So this is where the spirit of the room is a little bit starting to lift, because she's kind of reminded us of a little bit of where we went wrong, where we might be lacking. And then she says, look, I'm going to give you a Mont Blanc pen, not because I'm saying you're insufficient, but I'm doing this to say I have hope in you. And then she says, Mont Blanc, I need to share an explanation about Mont Blanc. I like the Mont Blanc because I like the name. And actually, she goes on to share the reason why she's giving us these Mont Blanc pens. And this is the Mont Blanc pen. My father told me years ago that this is the highest quality pen in the world. They make many types of pen. This is a ballpoint pen, and that's their logo. You can see the logo looks like a snow-capped mountain. Mont Blanc in French. Of course, it's a Swiss brand, but the name in Mont Blanc is French for white mountain, and that's the White Mountain logo. It's a very high quality pen, and Mother gave us the meaning to why she's giving us this gift, why she chose Mont Blanc. And I'm going to explain that in the next PeaceNet greeting video. In the meantime, we've turned the corner here with Mother's words. Again, we're reading from Mother's words from April 26, and she's reminding us of what she's been leading us through over the last 7 years, and reminding us of where we fell short to really understand, kind of encouraging us to really change our mind and get set for a new future. And then she's giving us, this, reminding us to be like sunflowers orienting towards God and True Parents all the time, daily. And then she's talking about how we should be living joyful lives, recording joyful lives in front of Heavenly Parent and True Parents, and recording them. It has something to do with this pen, but there's a deeper meaning behind why she chose Mont Blanc. And she took some time to actually explain history and the meaning of this gift. So I'll share that in the next meeting. In the meantime, God bless you. Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful rest of the session, and peace to all of you. PeaceNet. God bless you.